Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees. Trying to use the tripod again today. As you know, I'm not a fan of the tripod because I don't like setting it up, and I can move around a little bit better. Today what we're doing, we're pulling nukes out to sell, and as we sell them, a lot of these nukes are packed out pretty heavy. So what we do, a lot of them will have queen cells in them, and we'll cut the queen cells out and we'll use those as seed to put back in our replacement hive that's going to grow again from the nuke that we sold. So we'll catch forager bees that come back with another frame that we'll pull out, and we'll put one full frame in our nuke that we sell. We'll pull out from another hive. We'll shake the bees off of it, and we'll either use it. You can also use a frame of honey, which will work just fine, and we'll drop that in the same spot that we're pulling out the nuke that we're selling. So we'll take that queen cell that we cut out. I'll show you here in a second. Let me pull the frame out and I'll show you how we cut it, if I can do this on camera, but I'm going to try. Okay, right here is a frame that is packed out with about half honey and about half brood, and the hive is just absolutely packed out. It's one of those, when you pull it up, there's still a lot of bees, and about 3/4 of them fall to the bottom because it's so packed, and too many of them to stay on the frame. So what we got, you can see there's a queen cell right here. Let's see if we can. Now, new beekeepers, if you ever get to the point where you can go without gloves, you can move these bees pretty easy by just touching them. They move out of the way pretty good. They don't sting you if you don't trap them. If you just barely touch them, they don't like the heat of your hand. So that works really good for moving the bees around when you need to. They may be just a little bit grumpy. Not too bad. It's still early. You put just a little puff of smoke on them, keep them nicer. You can see right here on the frame here, you can see a queen cell right here, one here, a small little queen cup right there. A lot of times you'll see the queen cells down in the bottom. Of course, right here's a pretty big one. Now what we'll do, I'll cut most of these out and I'll leave one for sure in the hive. So, and sometimes two. So we got one here. We got one here. So what I'll do, and some of them are back to back. They're bad about doing that, putting them back to back. So I'm gonna try to show here on camera if I can attempt to do this one-handed. I might have to try to tilt this camera down a little bit. Be a little patient with it. Let me put it on pause and I'll come back after I've moved the camera. Okay, I think I got moved where we can see good. Okay, here's the cell we're gonna cut, and I'll show you how we do this. I just kind of move the bees out of the way. Sometimes you can blow a little bit of smoke, but they hate the heat of your hand. And okay, that opens it up right there. So what I'll try to attempt to do here is put my hand across the back and make sure with these blades that you get it. See how they're going right back to that cell, so you know it's a good cell. So I'm more coordinated with trying to do this without a camera, so let's see how we can do here. These blades are extremely sharp. You don't have to do a lot of zigzag cutting with them. You just slice it. You do got to be careful not to try to jar the cell too much. And that's why I like about these blades here, because it's easy just to slice through it instead of doing that sawing motion. Okay, there's our queen cell right there. So I'm not going to show cutting all these on here, but that'll kind of give you an idea how we do that. See, I didn't have to jar it too much. That blade is extremely sharp. You can get these at any hardware store. They're $2 or $3, I think. And the blades, this is actually, I grabbed a hold of the old one to see the rust on it. I have a newer one that's even sharper. And they got these little sections on them that you can snap off as they get dull. And it just keeps extending out. So these work excellent. They're small, you can put them in your pocket. They retract, they're perfect. They work really good. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna cut the rest of these. But now what I'll do is, let me put this on pause and then I'll come back and I'll show you exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm back. I got things moved around. So what I've done, I got my frame out of that hive that I pulled. What I did was I exchanged. Now, sometimes you can do these little tricks like this. This was a spot right here, this box, where that queen cell was that I just cut out. So it was packed out with a lot of bees. So we can afford some of those bees coming back here because it was overly packed. So what I done, I moved my empty box back in that spot where those bees were, where I pulled the queen cell, where the established hive was. And I replaced my empty box right here, facing the same direction. And here's the frame that I pulled out that I robbed from it, okay? So it's mostly honey. It's all honey, actually, on both sides. And what we're going to do, a lot of those bees are going to come back to this hive, all those foragers. So that's going to give us our split back. So what we do, okay, I'll be able to put 4 frames in here because it'll take up, the queen cell will actually take up some space. So here's what I'm going to do. And now if you have a drawn frame, it would be better, but sometimes you got to use plastic because you really need 2 frames that's drawn to be able to put your queen cell. Okay, that's why I don't like tripod, folks. So I'm gonna do the rest of this by hand. Sorry about that. I'm not gonna edit. I don't edit anything. When something happens, something breaks, something falls, I drop bees. You see every bit of it. That thing just did a somersault off of the tripod, and maybe I need a better tripod. Okay, right there's my queen cell. So all I have to do right now is I'm gonna hold this by hand, do this one-handed so you can see it. I'm putting the queen cell right here in between these frames, just like that. I'm gonna pull those frames in tight, but not too tight, not overly tight, and let it rest just like that. I'm gonna pull this other frame over to it. I'll put my top on, and we got our split. All those bees, like I said, those foragers, they'll come back. They'll take maybe 10%, I don't know, of that hive population, and it'll fill this hive back up. That queen cell will hatch. I'm not exactly sure on the timing on this one because sometimes they're at random times, and I'm not sure. So it was a capped cell. It looked a little bit thin, so I'm guessing 2 or 3 days. So within 10 days, I should be able to come back in this hive and see a laying queen. So that's how we do that. That's an easy way to do a split. You can cut those off. It's not hard to do. The bees will take on to that. They know immediately that they're queenless. You can hear. So just so you'll hear, can you hear that roar? They know they're queenless. They're already paying attention. If you can see, hopefully, they're already paying attention to that queen cell. and they're ready to make their own queen, and we got a split. So that's a simple, easy way you could do it. Now, you can do the same thing also if you just want to move the whole frame. Say if you don't want to cut cells, you just want to move the whole frame, you can do that as well. It's easy, just move the whole frame, do the same exact thing I did. You can move spots like that like we do. A lot of times it'll even out the population. And especially if you have a queen that you haven't found and you're not sure where she's at, well, if you move the box and put the empty in its spot, you don't have to worry about the queen, moving the queen, and you're good to go. This will fill up with some bees, and we got ourselves a new hive. But that's about it. A quick video how we do a split. It's simple, it's easy, and you can do this too. It's simple as that. And that's about it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching Barnyard Bees.